Welcome back to Bricks and Trips. Today is meant to be the day where I'm tearing this all down. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. That's going to start tomorrow. Instead, what we're going to do today is a little bit of pre-work just to try and make my life a little bit easier. Because you look around at this and there's a lot of different sets, there's a lot of space that it's using, and I need somewhere to put those sets. And at the moment, my Lego table is, well, it's covered in Lego. How inconsiderate of me. So first things first, let's get this mess cleared. And part of the reason why this is such a mess is because this has become a bit of a dumping ground since we finished off the Winter Village. We've got loads of plates, some unopened pick and build boxes, a few sets sitting in the back which are definitely either Christmas presents or need building up, along with the Hogwarts castle because I've had nowhere really to put it. But I've made two investments. The first thing is the actual table itself. This hasn't been here for all that long. But more importantly, we are now up to 3 storage units for Lego. And this is the newest investment. I haven't got anything exciting in here just yet. In fact, I'm still waiting for all the inserts to go in it. But we do have 2 full racks of Lego on this side, so let's show you some of the pieces. And I will pre-warn you, if there's anybody who's got a predisposition to liking things clean or tidy or organised, this may not be the video for you. Because when I say that I ran out of space for my pieces, I had to do what can only be described as a sin. I've ended up mixing pieces. And honestly, to start with, it doesn't actually start out too bad. I mean, we've got this random stack of plates in with the tiles, but it's only because this bin's overflowed. But we've got some of the little branch elements, some of the gold sort of fancy pieces, that's what I call them. Some of these really nice tan arch pieces as well. I love these ones, sort of roofs or just edges of pathways or stairwells. And an entire mini tub of things to make cobble roads. That used to be an awful lot fuller. Next up, we have plates and tiles and miscellaneous white brick. This is a lot of the extra stuff that I bought for the Winter Village, or things that I took off my Alpine Lodge from last year. These are mixed 3x1s, 4x1s, 12x1s. You know, there's a lot of Lego in there, but it doesn't really need sorting. If I'm ever going to be using that, it's going to be for making something big and white anyway, so it doesn't really matter if it's all mixed up. But things like this really bother me. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a single purple quarter round tile mixed in my blue ones. I need to sort these bits. Next up, probably one of the worst drawers, miscellaneous textured bricks, profile bricks. There's some of these large sort of like grey grill elements at the back, and this is a bit of a mess really. We've also got a load of red studs, so at one point I was thinking about having sort of like a lava fall, a bit like a waterfall but made of lava, underneath my Gringotts. I'm likely to still try and do something like that. I've got enough pieces to definitely make something of it, but I think that's a lot further along than I thought it was when I bought those pieces. And we've got, again, some Winter Village parts. These are some green 1x2 slopes and some white 1x2 slopes, and also some of these brilliant little stem elements as well. Underneath that, we've got a drawer that's mostly dedicated to plant life. So we've got some of the big green leaves, some of the little sand green, and then some of the smaller ones as well as loads of these fern elements. I really like these at the moment. They've come in so handily for building Christmas trees and just adding a little bit of variation to the vegetation in the Winter Village. And we've also got some of these 2x2 clear angled slopes. These were originally going to be used for some water detailing under my Hogwarts castle, but I think they're a little bit too big for how my current setup is. In the next drawer, this is pretty much dedicated to plant life. In fact, it's probably one of my best sorted drawers out of everything. Found these on the pick and build wall not all that long ago, these 1x1 green cheese wedges, and these look fantastic for grassy areas. When you pair these along with some of the flowers on some of the stem elements, it just looks brilliant. And next up, This is another really messy one. We've got some of the sort of dark tan masonry bricks, some of the white masonry bricks, loads and loads of white tiles, because this is the only colour tile I seem to be able to get in 1x on my pick-a-build wall. I love all of these little 1x1 elements. They're such great value when you're buying them on the pick-a-build wall, because you can stack a box so full with it. And you can do so many things. They add such great texture to walls or roofs or pretty much any flat surface that you want. We've also got some more of the gold fancy elements, but these are the 1x1 scroll bricks. Those were a great find a couple of years ago. This is a miscellaneous assortment of transparent purple and lilac and dark blue tiles. These round ones are so cool. I thought they'd look better for water, but unfortunately you can see the plates underneath, which I definitely should have thought about before I bought as many of them as I did. Down to the last two, we have vine whippy green things, both in the olive green and in the sort of bright green. Some headlight bricks, clear and white. Candlesticks, they come in so useful, so much more so than you'd think. A whole tub of plates and some of these little ball and pin connector joints. These are fantastic for creating some interesting shapes in your cities. And last, but certainly not least, the miscellaneous drawer. This is a load of dark grey masonry, light grey masonry, some of the larger building elements, some of the sort of, I don't know what these are, 1x2x2 tan bricks. Useful for getting a little bit of height in some areas and saving some of them 1x2s, and then just a load of stacked plates. Well, that's the whole of rack 1 done. Now on to rack 2. And this one's definitely a bit more on the messy side. We've got mixed grey and white plate, some of the studs not on top bricks. Again, fantastic for making walls out of, because you can make such different interesting shapes when you start working sideways as well. Along with a plate full of my dark grey and light grey angled slopes. And some of these angled plates as well, which are just fantastic for rock work. We also have a little tub full of inverted slopes. And the first box of shame. This is just miscellaneous pieces from sets where I've opened the bags and I didn't really know exactly what to do with all the bits in there. But let's not spend too long looking at that. We've got a tub full of arches. This is all just black brick. Incredibly useful, both the 2x4s and the 1x10s, along with some more bricks, brown, tan, dark tan, and these wonderful little 1x1 square transparent tiles. Found those not too long ago, and they are going to be incredible for some differentiation in the water depths. Next up, we have a drawer full of water and fences. There's not a lot to be said about this. These 1x4s make such fantastic water detail, especially when you mix them in with some of the dark and light 1x1 transparent cheese slopes as well. This one, it's a drawer of pure chaos, isn't it? We've got rock panels and blue plates, and we've got some of the larger rock panels, transparent clear stuff, some of the supports. There's even a bit of train track in here, which, well, not train track, but sort of roller coaster track, which is definitely going to be used under the mine trains at some point. But again, another project I bought pieces for and regretted. Next up is the studs not on top drawer. Well, kind of. We've got loads of white and green, and oh, there's loads of black plate, which is so incredibly useful at any moment. Some green plate. These olive sort of corner cut 2x2s. I actually don't know what you'd call these tiles, but they're just really useful for putting along the edges of paths, just so they don't look too straight. Next up, tiles. These are definitely going to be roof tiles at some point. I love the sort of terracotta colour to them, and the way that these overlap gives a really fantastic look to a build. Along with that, there is a box full of brackets. It just allows me to use some creativity when I'm building these things and not have to worry too much about every colour working out. It's actually the same reason why I bought these strange little green pieces as well, with the sort of hinge on the end of it. I don't know what these pieces are officially called, but they're incredibly useful for just building in different directions. I also love these 1x1 tooth elements. In fact, I love all the elements with teeth on that Lego does. The 1x2 especially, which went on top of the popcorn cart, those are really cool pieces and just add a different decorative touch. We've also got a mini box of jumper plates as well, blacks and whites, and I think there's some greens under there. There used to be as well. Yeah, they're under there somewhere. Promise we're nearly there. A box full of white bricks, And these arch elements that went through the winter village and the corner ones are the same. Loads and loads of white tiles, loads of transparent bricks. These are super useful for creating deep water, especially if you can build them on their side as well. And trust me when I say you do not know how much time these things save. There is nothing worse than when you get midway through something and realise you need 2 1x1 plates stacked up on top of each other. And that's pretty much exactly what these are. 1x1 plates, but they're 2/3 of a brick tall. They're incredibly useful. And last, and certainly least, it's the drawer of things that I've already got elsewhere, pretty much. A whole box of these tiles. These are going to be the underlying of my train track, so I need lots of these. We've got these lampposts. They're not my favourite lampposts, but they do the job. We've also got an entire box of these sort of 2x6 light grey bricks as well. These are just going to be used to building up areas, really. And that is it for rack 2. Now, I said I hadn't really filled this up. I do have a tiny little bit of brick in here, and this bottom drawer is just full of additional parts and pieces. I've got some miscellaneous leaves, these sort of sand green ones, which need to be put into the main section, but there just isn't the room. And also, these bags all come from the Cherry Blossoms kit, and also the treehouse as well for the autumn kit. And I'm really reluctant to open these bags because there's not really any need to. They're storing them quite nicely, but I think once I get some additional tubs in here, I'm definitely going to piece them all out and put them in the right place. But here I am procrastinating again. I need to sort out that mess up on top. Finally, once I'm done procrastinating, I can get to removing all this stuff on top. First things first, I've got a box full of brick separators. Throw that back in the drawer. Load of plate, grey plate, black plate. They're so useful, but God, they take up so much room, and especially when they're stacked on top of each other, become an absolute nightmare. I think this is the point where I decided I'm not going to do that box first. I'm going to do the simple one. Let's clear out some of this cobblestone stuff. Loads of quarter round tiles mixed in with sort of the random odd bits that get extras in sets, and just dump that in a drawer. Then I move on to the complicated one. This wasn't so fun. Now I know I said this last week, but this is the ugly side of Lego. So this is one pick and build box full of Lego. And it's full of 1x1 studs, some of the dark grey shield elements, 1x2 bricks, and this is by far the best way to buy Lego. As long as you don't care about what pieces you pick up at the time. Obviously you can never guarantee what's going to be on the pick and build wall, but if you're happy to hold on to things for a little while, you can end up with a nice collection and then be able to build things that you actually want and need to build with it. The biggest downside, of course, is that there is £17 worth of Lego in pieces now sitting on a tray which needs sorting. Count yourselves lucky that I'm the one sorting this and you just get to watch me fast forward through this in about 4 seconds. And let me tell you, this was anything but 4 seconds of work. I think this is one of the most difficult boxes of Lego I've ever had to sort that didn't involve plates stacked on top of each other. There was so many fiddly little pieces, 1x2s, the shield elements, all the 1x1 tiles and studs in there as well. It was an absolute nightmare to get through. You can see from the length of the time lapse that this was not a quick process by any means. So priorities, get rid of the big things, the 1x2s, all the shields, all the 1x2 rounded as well. All of those have come straight out, then onto the leaves, and we're finally left with just the white and pink studs and hearts. Which at least these are nice and easy to sift through on colours, one half going for whites, the other half going for pinks, and we're pretty much done. I'm going to go and count all this and see how much profit I've made. Because at $16.99 a box, I can guarantee I'll be getting better value from the pick and build wall than I ever could directly from Lego. Genuinely, 1 hour of counting later, we're finally done. And I think it's the best value pick and build box I have ever bought. So in this haul we have 116 pink hearts, 380 white studs, 34 sand green leaves, 27 pink leaves, 94 2x1s in white, 14 fences, 79 half rounds, 2 spider's webs, and 294 of the shield tiles. That equates to £97.21 worth of Lego for $16.99. It's ridiculous. Anyway, back to the sorting because I need to get this done. Obviously, I know I'm just shoving the cardboard boxes in the drawers out of the way for the moment, but I just needed them out of the way, really. That's the important thing, is getting everything off this table, so I've got plenty of room for tomorrow when I actually start the big stuff. And that is what we like to see. Just the miniature Hogwarts castle on the top now. I know exactly where I'm going to put that, just to move it out the way, and then I've got a workable surface so I can finally make a start on deconstruction tomorrow. And there we go. One Lego work surface unlegoed. Well, that's me fully procrastinated. There is nothing more that I could possibly do. The only thing left is to finally make a start at taking this thing apart. Thank you so much for watching. If you've got this far, please remember to subscribe, because these videos are going to be coming thick and fast through Christmas and New Year. It's going to be a massive project, but I can't wait to take you along with me. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.